we had a patient request a video on trigger point therapy. What is it? Is it safe? What are they doing? What are they injecting in me? So a trigger point is a tender area in a tight muscle, balled up muscle, really sensitive to the touch. Now, with trigger point therapy, they can either inject something into you like a corticosteroid, which will help to reduce the inflammation, or lidocaine, which will numb the area, serve as an analgesic or a pain reliever, and even a saline solution, which will promote contraction and relaxation of the musculature, right? So they can also do something called dry needling. Dry needling, they just stick a needle in and they don't inject anything, so you can request that to be done, but typically insurance doesn't cover that, at least in New York. That's how it is. So they do like to inject stuff. Now, really, not many, if any, long-term side effects. You don't want too many corticosteroids. Lidocaine is pretty safe. You know, it's minimally invasive. It's something that can help if you've tried chiropractic treatment and maybe you're not getting relief. Maybe a step before going to an epidural with some chronic back pain, right? And we definitely don't want to go to opioids or surgery if we don't have to. Cocor. But that's what we got for you guys today. I hope it was useful. Is it true that weed helps with muscle growth for people with appetite problems? Weed directly doesn't, I don't believe. For people with appetite problems, though, and insomnia, because it's helping you. Well, that's great, first off. In terms of, Marcus, we'll get to you in a second here, regarding anxiety and stress. Anything that, in terms of the weed, anything that would, increase someone's appetite, right? And they're going to get more protein. They're more likely to build more muscle. It can help with sleep. It could also keep some people awake. You look at things like magnesium for helping you fall asleep. If it's not melatonin, if you're going to take melatonin, start around 50 micrograms. Start at a low dose and move up. This way you're not groggy the next day. Magnesium is also important for a lot of other stuff. I think L-theanine at night is also a good thing. We went over a few things for sleep. I think they might even recommend 5-HTP, something like that. But we did a whole video on that. Anxiety. Well, something you may not have thought of is your gut health, Marcus. And so your gut health controls levels of serotonin in your brain, for example, indirectly. As your gut bacteria need to be fed with soluble fiber, they produce things called short-chain fatty acids that we talked about here on When Wellness, like butyrate or acetate. And butyrate affects levels of serotonin in your brain. About 90% of the serotonin is produced by the gut, right? They also produce other vitamins. They really affect your mood. Healthy fats, having a lot of healthy fats affects your mood. You want a diet rich in omega-3s. You want a lot of fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, tuna, herring. So you get your DHA and EPA. They are constituents of cell membranes in the brain, in nerve cells, right, in neurons. They improve signaling between neurons, and they form anti-inflammatory hormones as well, eicosanoids. So omega-3s are super important when it comes to that. Now, if you want to take some supplements, magnesium and theanine actually are really good for winding you down. Magnesium and lavender are actually the best for sleep. That's what that was. If it's not melatonin, they'd be the primary options, where melatonin would be the core option. But I personally think you should start with magnesium and lavender, so long as you're not a guy with lavender, because it's estrogenic potentially. So, maybe it's better for women, right? But men, definitely 500 milligrams of magnesium within an hour before bed. For the purpose of reducing anxiety, it could be anywhere from 350 to 500 milligrams of magnesium. You can have it with food. You could also have it without food if you don't get digestive upset. Don't take oxide. Take any other form: gluconate, lactate, citrate, glycinate, stuff like that, malate. Those are all good. So, those are some good things for anxiety and stress. Have some prebiotics, probiotics. Maybe get some kefir, right? Some probiotics, some bacteria. Have more fruits and veggies in the foods aforementioned. It's really important. You get magnesium through the diet too. Things such as leafy greens or the fatty fish that we mentioned. Nuts and seeds are great. Hemp seeds, flax seeds, sesame seeds, chia seeds, pine nuts, almonds, right? Things like that. Brazil nuts. Also selenium, antioxidant. Good. Absolutely. Good question again. Cohort 222. Love the 222. 22 is my lucky number. Partake in spiritual metaphysical practices like meditation. For me, it that comes more, in the gym, having mental tests with myself, I would say, but I think throughout the whole day I meditate. I'm doing something I love at work, and I try to be so in the moment and just really enjoy it. And I think that's a lot of what meditation is, right? It's a mindfulness technique where you're paying careful attention to something you're doing, whether it be throwing a ball up and down, laying on your back, or squeezing a stress ball, or walking through a forest and just paying attention to what's around you and soaking it up and enjoying it. I think there's a lot to be said about just being present all the time, and that's a form of meditation in itself, right? So So I definitely do that, Yeah, playing sports is a form of meditation for me. Do I sit there? I sit there and think, sure. Typically I'd be reading or playing chess, something like that, though. I like to be doing something, mental exercise. But, yeah, think about things, I guess, in some regard. When I drive, I meditate. Or typically listen to a book, but also meditate. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hope you're having a fantastic night. Glad to see you on here. Hope you guys get something out of these. Lexo Luton for Astracon, Frank William Sanchez, Andre Nascimento, Lucy Beanie, Simply Me, Vegas Bab, Mixagos, Marcus the 311, Pablo Meja, Claudio Favere Holly, Marlazon, Rodney M. Shelton Meg, what's up? Berlin Bad, Zinnan Jefferson. Have a fantastic rest of your night, guys. What up, Martin Santito? We'll see you tomorrow, baby. Not sure where, not sure when, but we'll see you then. Have a fantastic night and happy wellness. Thanks. What up, Maddie Joy? Okay, bye.